Hey, everybody, this is Ken Tucker with Changescape Web. Welcome to this episode of Local St. Charles Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Alyssa Groeteke, who is the president of the St. Charles Jaycees. Welcome.
Thanks for having us this morning.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you and learn a little bit more about what the St. Charles Jaycees do. So, if you could just kind of start with that, and then also, start with your background and how you got involved and all of
Absolutely.
that, that'd be fantastic.
So the St. Charles Jaycees, it's actually an international organization. It stands for Junior Chamber. And I just found out recently that in the US, we're the only ones that call it Jaycees because we abbreviate it for Junior Chamber. But I met with the international president back in February, and they always call it JCI. So that was just a little fun fact. But,
Oh, okay.
anyways, we are a group of young professionals. 18 to 40 is our organization ages, and we focus on giving back to our community, getting involved with our community, individual and professional development. And then, of course, we always have a lot of social and fun things. And everyone always asks, what's the deal with the age requirements? And the reason that it was developed was because a lot of organizations, the older people in the organization were taking on the leadership roles. And so the younger people were just the workhorses and weren't really getting to grow or develop or do anything. So when JCI was created, it was geared towards the younger ages so that people could get that experience. So when they were applying for jobs or taking on new organizations, then they already had the leadership experience and were in those roles versus just starting off blindly and not having anything on it. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the history of JCI.
Okay.
Some famous people. Elvis Presley was a JCI. He actually won. We do a 10 outstanding. Used to be young men because it started as an all men's organization, and then recently, or not recently, but then opened it up to women as well. But he won a Toya Award, which is 10 Outstanding Young Americans. And the history is that it was his most prestigious award. He was so proud of that because he felt like people recognized him, not just for his thinking, like because with JCI, it's everything. It's giving back to your community. It's developing. It's relationships. It's not focused on just one thing. So that was
Yeah.
always his proudest moment. So
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And you guys are members of the St. Charles Regional Chamber. Um, and I know, I've worked with Scott and I've been a member for, a long time, I think since 2008. And, I know there used to be young professionals honestly, I'm not sure if there's still a young professionals group in the chamber. How do you guys, if there is one, do you know how you guys interact with them, or are you just kind of operating in parallel?
to my knowledge, I don't know if there is a young professionals group with the chamber, but I know we attend like the Biz and Brews and the morning coffees as much as we can. And just our goal is to get out there and tell people what JCI is and
Yeah.
have them join our organization. For me personally, it was a great way for me to learn about my community. I'm not originally from St. Charles, so I don't know
Mhm.
all the history and I'm not connected with any organizations. So probably like about 4 or 5 years ago, I was just like, how do I learn more? I only have, my kids' school group, and that's, pretty much my social group right there. And just from joining the organization, I've been able to make lots of friendships through the memberships, but then also with a lot of the different organizations that we work with. And I am going to age out soon. So it's great because I already have organizations that I'm interested in helping after I'm done with, the JCs, and I can move on and work with them and still be a part of our community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's I've been on boards. I've been on the this chamber's board, and I've been on boards of nonprofits, and it's just really important to continue to build up that skill set. And as you mentioned, a lot of times the people who participate, in chambers and in boards, tend to be people who have, got some leadership and maybe even some executive level position, within a very, various organizations. So it's great that you guys are building, that leadership, and that vision as you guys are, accomplishing all that you do in St. Charles.
Yeah. It's just great. The chapter has grown so much since I joined. I joined in 2019, and we've just grown so much. And one of the things I think personally that I'm proud of is we've started working with a lot more organizations. Just because our community development, we've been able to interact and do a lot of different social. we try to stay focused here in the St. Charles County, but occasionally we'll partner up with the St. Louis chapter on the other side of the river, and we'll cross over and do a joint group with them. We worked with CARE STL. We went down and did the Cupid Undie Run, which is a nonprofit run that raises money. So it's just great because these are organizations I would have never personally been a part of or had even heard of or looked into. But because of this organization, we try to create new relationships with nonprofits and help as many people as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we say St. Charles, is that St. Charles City or county?
So originally, when the St. Charles Jaycees were created, it was just the city.
Okay.
However, COVID and just things over the year, like the St. Peter's chapter closed, the Winsville Lake St. Louis closed. So we really kind of rebranded ourselves as St. Charles County.
Okay.
You don't have to live in the county to be a member. We have people that live over in St. Louis. We have people that live all the way down by like Fenton, but they work out here. So it's
Sure.
easier for them to come to meetings and stuff. So membership isn't limited to just here. But we've kind of, like I said, rebranded so that we can help more people than just in St. Charles. We try and, do a lot of different places. And then we're also including more people since they don't have JCs available to them, like out in Winsville or St. Peter's or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So, can you tell me about some of the notable accomplishments that you guys have achieved working with either just on your own or with other organizations?
Absolutely. So just here in St. Charles, if anyone's ever gone down to Oktoberfest or Riverfest or heard any concert on that main stage there in Frontier Park, you take a look at the sign behind it. It's the JC stage. We help to fund and bring that on. We also helped with Discovery Playground, which is that all-inclusive playground, and they're off Elm Street, I believe. And then a lot of people don't realize this, but there it's on the Fairgrounds Road behind Bass Pro. There's a JC Fairgrounds Village and JC's Fairground Terrace. And we actually helped with the naming and getting those buildings built for the senior living there.
Okay.
So those are some of the bigger accomplishments we've done.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. I had no idea that you guys played such a big role in all of the events down in Frontier Park. That's awesome.
Yeah, and we actually the Riverfest parade. If anyone's been to the parade on 4th of July, that's something that the JCs, the St. Charles JCs, have done for years. So if anyone's interested in having a float, reach out to us because we are taking registration.
All right. When are the registrations due?
We're having a meeting on June 19th. So before June 19th, preferably, so that we can attend the meeting and get all the information. You can find the information on the City of St. Charles website under Riverfest, or we do have a couple of links on our Facebook page too to the link.
Okay, cool. So, how do you guys decide on what organizations you're going to work with? One, and two, if there's an organization that becomes aware of you guys, maybe through like this podcast or something, how would they reach out? And is there an application process, or just how does that whole process initiate?
Absolutely. It's mainly, honestly, through connections and relationships. One of the questions that we ask members when they join us is, what nonprofit or what organization are you passionate about? Who do you want to work with? And we get a lot of new names that way, groups that we've never heard of before. And we just reach out to them and we find out, what's your need? Is it volunteers? We've got people, we've got able-bodied people, we've got people who can do stuff on the computer for you. What do you need? So really the first place we go is we just ask our members, what are your interests? We want to help serve them as much as they're serving the community. If there's a nonprofit out there that's interested, just reach out to us, Facebook, Instagram, or email, any of our members really. Tell us what you're looking for. They'll bring it back to the chapter. And if we're able to accommodate it, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're not limited to any certain groups. We believe in relationships, and we try to really develop relationships. And as much as possible, we try not to be like a one-time thing. Like Marcy's Project is a local nonprofit here. And we started they take in donations for families that are in immediate crisis. And we were like, what's your need? And they're like, we need laundry done. We get all these donations of clothes. We need laundry done. In our group, it's the craziest thing, but we love to do laundry nights. I guess it's because it's not our own.
Yeah.
We'll go up to the laundromat. She'll bring us 30 bags of laundry, and we buy pizza and,
Yeah.
just sit around and enjoy everyone's company and fold and wash clothes. And we do that pretty regularly throughout the year. Now, there's
Okay.
other organizations that they only need us, for their big events, and they're like, "Hey, we need volunteers for the kids area," and we'll come to that. So,
Yeah.
really, anyone can reach out to us, and it's just as long as we have people available to come, then we're absolutely happy to help out.
Okay. Awesome. So, likewise, if people are interested in becoming a member or learning more, probably going to your Facebook or Instagram page.
Yeah, reach
Um,
out to any of us. And I always encourage people, come to an event, just come check it out. If you don't like us, you don't have to come back. You're not going to upset us. But more than likely, we have such an eclectic group of people. And, with us being from 18 to 40, we've got all ages, we've got all different people. And you're going to connect with somebody. You're going to find somebody that you have something in common with that you can connect on. So I always just encourage people, come out to an event. Last night we did demolition ball and we had the best time. I was horrible at it, but
yeah.
but so we do a huge variety of things. And one thing that really appealed to me, because I'm one of the older members, but there were so many things that I could get my daughter connected into.
Hmm.
And so it wasn't like just for me. She's 10 now. But I could bring her, and she's really gotten a community driven heart as well, like just from being a part of this.
Yeah.
And actually on March 27th, we're having our first JC youth meeting. It's
Hmm.
for ages 7 to 17th. And so it's kind of like a feeder. But
Okay.
we have so many kids in our chapter that show up and do things. We wanted to create something for them and let them have some ownership, and they can, kind of lead their chapter and get a feel for how like the business side of JC's run. And then when they're 18, they'll be ready to join our chapter. But our kids are all super, super excited about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, and we're gonna, the biggest thing, like I said, is our first meeting. We're gonna tell them just a little bit about how things will run. But then also I'm gonna be like, what do you guys want to do? Like, you tell me, this is your chapter.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear from the kids and see what their interest is.
And it's amazing what they can do when they put their minds together.
Mhm. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So do you guys work with like any of the local employers as well, just to make sure that they know that I mean, I'm sure that many of them already do, like major employers, but I just was curious if you guys do any outreach to.
We need to. That's a great
Okay.
idea. It's one of those things. Some people, their companies will actually pay for their membership, which is great. So we just need to get in there and connect with them. We go to chamber so we can reach out to people that way. And one avenue we're trying right now is we're actually offering two $500 scholarships to graduating seniors in St. Charles County. And so we're hoping that'll let us reach out to those 18-year-olds that are getting ready to leave. I know my niece just left and went to SEMO, and it is hard. It's a new community for her. She doesn't know anyone. But being able to join an organization like the JCs, that gives you people that you know right away. It lets you get involved. So we're hoping to reach out to some of the younger kids that way. But yeah, reaching out to employers, that's definitely something we need to do better on.
Okay.
But thanks for
Yeah.
the idea. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and also, a place like Lindenwood,
Hmm.
for sure. So, yeah. Do you guys, I mean, do you have any formalized training and leadership education programs or anything like that?
Absolutely. So some of the programs that we have, we bring in guest speakers. So Kelly Dunkel from the Cottleville Fire Department came in and talked to us about being brave and dealing with difficult conversations. So we bring in professional speakers like that from time to time. We did a leadership study last spring or last fall. I'm sorry. But then also the National Chamber, they offer online training since everybody is, all throughout. We actually
Mhm.
just had our our national spring meeting in Nashville, and so we were able to send some members there, and they had
Sure.
some formal training as well. And then we do a state meeting every year in January too, where we have it's called local leaders training there too.
Okay. So you mentioned Elvis. Any other notable JCs that we might all know about?
Larry Holmes, the boxer, if you
Okay.
know him,
Yeah.
and I want to say JFK. there's a lot of presidents that were Jaycees as well.
Oh,
I'll have to
okay.
get you a list of that. If I start listing them off, I'm going to name somebody wrong. Uh,
Right.
but those are some of the more notable ones there. But like I
Okay.
said, Elvis was pretty proud of his Toyo Award that he won, and I'm pretty sure that it's still at Graceland. If you go, you'll have to keep an eye out for it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with Graceland. I don't know if they've kinda settled the estate, with all the tragedy that that family's been dealing with lately, but hopefully, yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
and then, you guys, I mean, so there are tiers, so there's state, national, and international. So
Mhm.
talk a little bit about what happens at the state level and how you guys participate there.
So at the state level, there's a camp. So our main nonprofit that all the chapters support throughout the state of Missouri is called Wonderland Camp. It's down kind of by Lake of the Ozarks, not quite that far. But it's for people of all needs, all ages. So you could be 80 years old and you could go to camp there. And they have staff on site. It's for people with disabilities. They can come for a week. It gives their caregivers a break. It lets them come and have a lot of fun. Everything is ADA compliant, so things that they never thought they would be able to do, they're able to do at this camp. And that is our big project that we support at a statewide level. And we actually are going down March 31st through the 2nd, and that's our spring work weekend. So we get camp all cleaned up, we get the paddle boats in the water, we repaint for them, get some things that were put away for winter, we get that out, and then in the fall we go down and winterize things for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
everyone loves that because it's a chance for us to get with chapters from other, throughout the state and visit with them and have a fun time.
Yeah,
Um, and we just love going down there.
yeah,
And the other big state project that we have, it's called Access Day. So again, it's for people of all disabilities, and they get to come out to the state fair. I think it's like the last Friday of the state fair. And we provide lunch for them. We provide tickets for them, their admission, everything. Jaycees from all across the state of Missouri come volunteer their time. Some of them are, just cooking the lunches and putting them together, and others are out, interacting and riding with the kids and adults, because like I said, it's for all ages.
yeah, yeah.
So those are our two main projects that we work with at the state level.
Okay, awesome. What else, should we know about, the St. Charles Jaycees?
We're just a group of fun young individuals, and we're welcoming to anyone and everyone. For me and a lot of us in the chapter, we're all transplants. We didn't grow up here in St. Charles, so it was a great way for us to connect with people and just build relationships and friendships with each other, and then also get to know our community. I work in municipal government, and I think my connections with the Jaycees, the nonprofits, and then also the members has just really been
Yeah,
beneficial for me on a work standpoint. Um, and it's just amazing. Like, we'll go down and help with the Sykeston Rodeo, and we sell hats down there. And all of our members really look forward to it. So, we're not just local. We're helping out all throughout the state of Missouri, and even at a national level too. Another fun fact is that we were actually founded here in Chesterfield, Missouri. So the entire organization was started here in the US in Chesterfield. So the national headquarters are here, and that's why we were lucky enough to get to meet with Victor, our international president, a couple
yeah,
months ago because he was here visiting. So
wow.
we are very lucky in the fact that we get to get involved in a lot of things nationally and internationally because we are so close to the headquarters here in St. Charles.
Yeah, so is that the national or the international headquarters?
It is the international one.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah, you should go. There's pictures of all the international presidents
Yeah,
throughout the history of the Jaycees, and
yeah.
it was really interesting to meet with Victor. He's from Iceland,
Huh,
and every country he visits, they give him some type of token, and so it was just interesting to talk to him and hear about it, and then also just to hear about the things that we're doing locally. People are doing globally, and just being able to reach out to our community. And I hate to say this, but a few years ago, like JCI was dying out because the people that were involved in it, there wasn't as many. And just to hear the stories of how organizations have rebuilt and grown their membership and continue to still be a part of their community and help out and keep retaining members is just amazing.
yeah,
And just the great things that we do around the globe. It's
yeah,
it's hard sometimes to think past your own community, and then you hear stories of like-minded people doing the same thing in the same organization, and it just blows your mind how big this organization truly
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's not like we haven't seen just a little bit of change over the last 3 or 4 years either. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, where people work,
How they work, yeah.
how they work, all that kind of stuff. The career choices that they're making now, and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing. So, it's obviously an interesting and exciting time for you guys. So, I
Oh, for
appreciate
sure.
you.
We've got a lot of goals ahead of us, a lot of ideas and things we want to do. And luckily, we're all a really great, motivated group. And anything we put our mind to, we usually do. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's an amazing organization. I love all the people in it, and they're honestly like family. So
Yeah.
that's just one of those perks that comes along with it.
Yeah. Well, I think back in my working career, and I've lived in St. Charles now for almost 35 years. And when I started, my job was either in St. Louis County, St. Louis City, or over at Scott Air Force Base. And at one point in time, I traveled all across the country. So I lived in St. Charles. I knew nothing about St. Charles.
Right.
My friends were not in St. Charles because I spent all my time everywhere else. And so when I started my company in 2005, a little bit, I mean, I was trying to figure things out, obviously. In 2008, I became a member of the chamber, and it gave me just exactly what you said. The JCs has given a lot of your folks, who are not native to the St. Charles area, a way to connect and build friends and build relations. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, we all get along pretty good, and we all
Mhm.
just have that same like-minded, giving back to the community, and it's just really cool when you get people together like that. Just the things that we come up with and the things that we can do.
Yeah. One last question. So you mentioned Scott Tate, and obviously we know Scott well. Um, do you have people who have been past JCs who play any kind of a mentor or supervisory or kind of not a supervisory role, but what's
Like an
I'm drawing
advisor type
kind of an
thing.
advisory role. Yeah.
So, the high one of the highest levels you can get is a senatorship. So basically, that means you've given to the community, you've given to the JCs, and we expect you're probably going to hang around for a while. So, yeah, Scott is amazing. He helps us out. He helps us make connections. He comes to events, helps out. And we've got quite a few other people that are here locally that they help out when they can. And most importantly, especially as the president, they're nice to be a sounding board and call them and be like,
Yeah.
what are you doing this? What does this mean? Someone's asking me this. I have no idea.
Right.
So yeah, so we have a lot of senators and just even past members, even if they haven't gained that senatorship, they're still just around to help out, to answer. We have one of our members, Paul Meyer. He creates a history book for every president. So
Hmm.
it's nice. You can read through, you can see projects that they did,
Yeah.
answer most questions. So yeah, we're very lucky again to have just beyond the local membership to 40 to have past members and senators that
Yeah.
stick around and help us out and give us some guidance. So
Yeah.
we
Okay.
are very grateful for them because without them, we would just be chickens with our heads cut off. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Alyssa, thanks so much for your time. I enjoyed talking with you and learning a lot more about the St. Charles Jaycees. And best of luck to you. And take care.
thank you for having us.
All right. All right.
Have a
See
good
you.
day.
All right. Goodbye.